guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Zaza here and we have a story time. I actually got the inspiration for this video from the last video I just shot that you may have seen on Monday. If you haven't, go watch it. But yeah, it's a bit of a, it's a traumatic. This one's traumatic. Like, I'm not happy about this. But yeah, I'm gonna tell you. So this was when I was actually very newly pregnant with Kai. I was about 10 weeks pregnant. And yeah, so basically it was nighttime and I started having these pains in my stomach. And they kind of came out of the blue. Nothing's like made them come on. I don't remember relating it to anything. I was just sitting in my house and just having these pains in my stomach, and because it wasn't strong, I just kind of thought nothing of it. So I kind of left it, and progressively through the night, like, I went to bed. I think I went to bed early because I was in pain. I just went to sleep it off, and that's what I'm like with pain. I don't take like tablets or anything. I'll just go to sleep. So I tried to go to sleep, and I think I was going in and out of sleep because the pain was getting progressively worse. So I think by 7 AM the next morning, I could just about get hold of my phone, like literally just about get hold of it. It was so hard to put my phone on and find my mum's number to call it, and I couldn't hold the phone to my ear because I was in that much pain. Like, I'm crying, like excessively crying. I'm in so much pain, and I'm a type of person, I'm quite good with pain. Like, I can kind of take pain to a certain extent, but this, it just completely took over. Anyway, I managed to call my mum, and I think I had to put the phone on loudspeaker. And I was explaining to my mum the pain I was in, and she was like, "Why didn't you call me from earlier? Or why didn't you tell me from last night?" So I was like, "Please, can you come to my house? Like, I'm in so much pain. I need you to come to my house." So she came to my house, and she saw, like, I had to crawl to the door to answer the door to let her in. And I lived in a block, so I had to buzz her in first and then open. I think I just opened my door at the same time and just went back to my room and lied back on my bed because I was in so much pain. So I lied on my bed. She came and she saw me and she was like, "Why have you called me? Why haven't you called the ambulance? Like, you can't move. Like, why have you even called me?" So she called the ambulance. The ambulance, they refused to come. They said that I need to get in a cab and go up to the hospital, which I had to do, which was very hard. My mum basically had to carry me downstairs and then to the car. We drove up to the hospital and they had me sitting in A&E. Luckily they didn't have me there for long, but the pain, I was curled over, like I couldn't even sit in the seat. I was in so much pain. And I called Kai's dad and I was like, "I'm in so much pain, can barely move, like, I don't know what's wrong." So he was like, "Okay, I'm coming to the hospital." He came to the hospital. No, that's what happened. So basically he was on his way. So we went into the first room to sit down with the doctor, and he checked me over, and literally he touched my stomach on the right hand side, and the scream I let out because I was in so much pain. So he told me to go back out in the waiting room and waited there for a little while, and then they took me through to the emergency ward, and I was lying there and I was in so much pain. Like, my mum was there, she was like trying to calm me down, and then this nurse, he was so lovely. I can't remember where he's from. He's like Vietnamese or something. He was so nice. he looked after me. They gave me like, I think they gave me paracetamol at first, but it wasn't doing anything. Then they gave me morphine. Yeah, morphine is a hell of a drug. I was gone. I was like, I couldn't talk, like my tongue wasn't working. My mum was pissing herself laughing at me the whole time. I was in and out of sleep, in and out of consciousness. I don't know what was going on. Like, up to this day, I couldn't tell you really what was going on. I just remember that every time I tried to speak, the words weren't coming out right. But I'd have to leave that for my mum to explain. But that was, yeah, that was an experience. So yeah, I think then they finally said, they was doing a lot of tests on me at the time as well. Tests on my urine and stuff like that. And then they was like, oh, it could be gallstones, it could be this, it could be that. They couldn't figure out what it was, but they kept on that was the first scan I had of Kai. I was very lucky, if you want to call it luck, but because it was my stomach, they had to give me scans, and it was listening to her heartbeat, so I got to see Kai early. But yeah, she was fine. So finally they said that it is my appendix. I was like, okay, what does that mean? I'm pregnant. So they was like, okay, well, we're going to send you upstairs. You're probably going to have an operation. No, they didn't tell me at that point. No, they didn't. They just said, we're going to move you upstairs to the ward. So they took me upstairs to the ward. That's when Kai's dad turned up. My mum went home because she was shattered. So she went home because she'd been out that night. So she was gone. But yeah, so Kai's dad was there. Then the nurse came and said to me, literally like this, you have appendicitis, we're going to operate, you may lose the baby, you need to sign this paper, and walked away. I was like, is this woman for real? Did she just say I could lose my baby and then just walked away like it was nothing? I was like, well, hold on a minute. What? And then all the nurses walked off too. So there wasn't even no one for me to ask no questions to or nothing. I'm there looking at Kai's dad like, what the hell? Then me and him ended up getting into an argument. Oh, this is life. We got into arguments, so he left. So I was lying there on the bed by myself thinking, shit, I could lose this baby. Like, I wasn't even bothered about the argument or nothing. I wasn't even bothered about the fact that I was on my own. It was just, wow, I could lose this baby. Whew. Anyway, they got me ready for surgery. I remember lying on the bed and them saying, count backwards from 10. Yeah, that shit is scary. No, seriously, when I look back at it now, it's scary because you're in this room, right? And you're looking around, you can see like all the utensils on the table and all these lights, and it's quite scary. And then you're just like 10, 9, gone. Anyway, so I woke up from the surgery, obviously back downstairs on the ward, the recovery ward. The nurses were lovely there as well. They were really good. I ended up having to stay in hospital for two weeks. It was horrible. Horrible. Who wants to eat flipping hospital food for 2 weeks? And all this stuff, it was horrible. And I was in pain because of my stitches. And when I came, the same day that I had the operation, I came up, when I came to my senses from the anaesthetic, the doctor came and saw me and basically said that my appendix was about to rupture and it would have killed me and the baby. So I was lucky to go when I did, and I keep it in mind every time I think about my life, because it's like, I could have lost it. If I had left, if I hadn't got to the hospital when I did, you know, you just never know. And I have the scar because I was pregnant. They couldn't give me keyhole surgery, so they literally had to give me a big incision. So I have the scars to show, and they just remind me not to take life for granted. It's really scary. It was really scary, and I really felt like, wow. And it made me, from then I was like, yeah, my daughter's a fighter. Obviously I didn't know she was a girl at the time, but she's a fighter, and I always see her as a fighter. She's my little fighter. She was born early, she went through that, she's amazing. But yeah, so that was my story time. But yeah, if you have any questions about it, or you want to talk to me about it, then do leave a comment. And if you enjoyed it, press the like button. I don't want to see no dislikes, please. This was my story. A very traumatic story, might I add. But yeah, also don't forget to subscribe if you are not already, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.